Hey guys, in this video we're going to take a look at where to go to turn in your Tier 4, Tier 5, and Tier 6 raiding tokens, all of which can be collected and found in the various raids from the Burning Crusade expansion. Now it's pretty simple because the Tier 4 and Tier 5 raiding vendors are all here in Shattrath City, which is in Terokkar Forest in Outland, so you can just get a mage to port you here, or you can take a portal from the Shrine of Two Moons or Seven Stars, or you can take the Orgrimmar or Stormwind portal to Hellfire Peninsula. It doesn't really matter how you get here, but once you do arrive, you can either go to the Eldor Rise or the Scryer's Tier. The vendors are going to be found in the building at the very end of the actual platforms themselves. You can see I'm just hovering over them with the mouse cursor. I will note as well, if you are here for your first time, you will be neutral with both of these factions, so you can actually go to either platform and talk to either of the vendors. It will not matter which platform you choose. If you have become allied with one of these factions by doing the various quest lines in the lower city here, you will only be able to talk to the actual faction that you have become allied with. So in my case, when I did these quests back in the Burning Crusade, I became allied with the Eldor, and becoming allied with the Eldor prevents me now from speaking with any of the vendors in the Scryer's Tier. So, for this video's sake, we will just take a look at the Eldor tier, but do know as well that the Scryer's tier is set up very similar, where there's going to be a vendor on the left and a vendor on the right once you enter the building. So in this case here, we go to the left, and we find the first vendor here. His name is Asur, the Keeper of Shatari Artifacts. This is our guy that will be the Tier 4 vendor. It's very simple. You've got the various specializations of your class that you can select. These don't matter so much, they only have different stats compared to the other specializations, like agility as compared to intellect, and then your actual 2 or 4 set piece bonus. So the only real time I'd want to choose these differently is for like time walking dungeon sets perhaps. Other than that, they're all the same for transmogging, so that's pretty much all you'd really look at for differences there. And then if we went to the right here, we're dealing with the NPC. Her name is Kalara. Now Kalara is the Tier 5 item vendor. Same kind of setup, same thing you can kind of expect, so no big surprises there. So now that we know where to go to hand in the Tier 4 and Tier 5 token pieces, let's take a look at Tier 6 as well. In the center of Shattrath City is the Terrace of Light. Now there's a portal here that will take you directly to the Isle of Kaldanos, and that's where one of the vendors is. He's right between the actual flight path area and Sun's Reach, and he's on this little boat here. You can see him standing right next to him right now. His name is Theramis. He's the Keeper of Lost Artifacts. Now, this is Tier 6, and Tier 6 is a little bit different than Tier 4 and Tier 5 in the sense that it has 3 more items in the actual tier. So you have 8 pieces that you can collect as compared to 5. Sunwell Plateau, which is on the same island here, will give you 3 token pieces, and these token pieces in Sunwell Plateau are the token pieces you can collect from Theramis. So, the other pieces that we can actually get come from Black Temple and Mount Hyjal themselves, or the Battle for Mount Hyjal rather. So now the actual other token vendor that we have to go to get those other 5 pieces, since this guy only gives us 3, is in the Battle of Mount Hyjal raid itself. So let's take a look at that. Okay, so here we are in the Caverns of Time. We've got the raid in since the Battle for Mount Hyjal. This is where you need to kind of zone in to actually talk to the last vendor that's needed to turn in the Tier 6 tokens. Here he is directly in front of us. His name is Tai Dormu. So just as we were looking at the guy on the Isle of Kaldanos for turning in some of the Tier 6 items, here's the guy that has the last 5 tokens that will give you the items for from Black Temple and this raid instance as well, being the Battle for Mount Hyjal. So that's all you need to do to talk to these vendors and stuff to collect the rest of your Tier 6. And just to kind of clarify, if you guys are looking to see where you can get the tokens from the Tier 4 set and stuff like that, you just pretty much need to go to Outland again. The very first raid instance is Gruul's Lair. You're dealing with 3 raids that actually drop tokens for the Tier 4 set. 2 tokens drop in Gruul's Lair up in Blade's Edge Mountains. 1 token drops in Hellfire Citadel, which is in the Magtheridon's raid, or Magtheridon's Lair raid, rather, in Hellfire Peninsula. And then the last 2 tokens from the Tier 4 set drop over here in Azeroth on the Eastern Kingdoms. Down in the Deadwind Pass, you have to go to Karazhan, and that's the raid that you need there for the Tier 4 item sets. Now, to look at Tier 5, both of those places can be found in actually Outland. You have 1 raid instance here in Zangar Marsh. In Coilfang Reservoir, you have to swim underneath the water into this little fortress. Once you're down there and you get into the Serpenshrine Cavern is what the raid's called, there are 3 raid tokens you can get in there for the Tier 5 set. And then there's Netherstorm up in here, and you have to go to Tempest Keep and that is the raid, also known as the Eye, and there's the last 2 pieces for the tier 5 set there. So again, tier 4 and tier 5 both have 5 pieces in the set, whereas tier 6 has 8 pieces. So that is a little bit of a difference, but that's where you can go and expect to see all the vendors, guys. Hopefully you found that helpful. Thanks a ton for watching, and hope to see you guys in the next videos.